He is the Anthony Fantano of ePunk, the MTV of Incelcore, and the only podcaster covering meaningless e-drama. It is Kyle's Clips. Just introduce yourself in your own words. What do you do?
I'm Kyle's Clips. I make YouTube videos about incel core, and sometimes I'll talk about other stuff. And yeah.
Okay, so getting into the first question, you've been making Incelcore videos for a long time now. There's a video on your other channel that I'll come back to later, which I think predates your first Incelcore video on your now main channel, right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Well, how long have you been making videos, and why did you start? I know it dates back to when you were a kid, but can you just lay out like a rough timeline for us, for like your career as a YouTuber?
Okay, yeah. There's a lot of lore here. I started off kind of doing like Facebook videos around when I was like 5 or 6. And they weren't really that good. They were kind of like nothing. Later on in like 2019, I was like 9 years old. I started making videos on YouTube. It was like early 2019, on like a channel that's like now deleted because I lost access to it. Then like I quit for about a year. I came back under like the new name Kyle's Review, and I was on there for a few years. I made commentary videos, and yeah, around like 2024, I decided to switch over to my second account, Kyle's Clips, as my main account. I was over there for a few months, then I quit again because I lost motivation. Then in about August of 2025, I came back, started making Intel Core videos, and now we're here.
So have you ever wanted to do any other creative ventures aside from YouTube? Like there's a MIDI instrumental song on your channel. Have you ever, and you've mentioned producing rap beats before in previous long ago videos. Do you have any creative side projects?
I don't have any side projects currently. I had originally the reason the channel had is Snowflakes of Summer. That was like a band me and my cousin had. And eventually we like started using another channel called Chaos Current, and that was our little like music kind of band side project. But it's not currently active.
So you do actually play an instrument.
No, no, I like wrote some lyrics for like some of the songs, like Analog Horror, Wake Up, Death Has a Shadow, all on Chaos Current. They had lyrics, and I wrote all of the lyrics, but like my cousin like actually did like all the instrument playing and all the producing.
Have your reviews ever gotten you into any beef with incelcore artists or people in the scene? I think there was kind of a thing with Heartbreaker, but he's a sensitive guy, so that's whatever. And I don't mean like just petty stuff. I mean like actual big, arguments.
No, I don't think I've gotten into like any like big beefs with any artist. There was Oliver's who made that diss track on me, but I think they just did that because they thought it was funny. But yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten into any kind of like drama with anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say you're a pretty likable guy. I mean, even Cameron Flodge, I'm pretty sure commented on one of your videos one time, like and if anyone would be hating on you, it'd probably be that guy. So I mean, you're nice to everyone in the scene as well. But speaking of being nice, you're not too active on Discord and actually refuse to make an account until the Gamergate interview. Can you explain why you have this aversion to the platform? And also, have you made any connections in the scene despite this?
Um, well, for a while I was like kind of scared of Discord. I think I actually may explain this in a video, but like, you know, when you hear about like a YouTuber like getting exposed, it's like always on Discord, and you know, there's just like a bunch of like creeps on Discord and like a bunch of like dangerous communities. Um, but like there were like a lot of artists that would like comment on my videos despite me not having a Discord, and like be like thank you, and like be like I don't know what's like the right word to say. Be like pretty positive in the comments. I mean, I guess we weren't really friends, but you know, there were a lot of artists that were, I guess you would say, like friendly in my comments. And then when I moved to TikTok, I actually, you know, did have kind of the ability to talk to some artists and make some connections there. So yeah.
Okay. So going back to Heartbreaker, he's gonna have what should be his first ever live show, and will hopefully kick off his 8 venue tour across America. Will be taking place at a venue called in Highland Park, LA. Do you have any opinions about how you think it will play out?
I didn't really know that that was happening until now. Um, I don't know. I hope it turns out good for him. I like a lot of his music. Yeah, I hope it goes well. I hope more incel-core artists start doing like start doing shows, start doing like live tours.
Okay. I mean, I guess you must like. Do you have an Instagram?
No.
Oh, okay, right. Sorry, that makes sense. Yeah, because he only talked about that on Instagram. I'm pretty sure. Um, um, how long have you been listening to Civil War, and what's your connection to
I've been like really into it, like listening to multiple artists since like late 2024, about the same time I made that that first video on the Kyle's Review channel. And yeah, my connection to it is like you know, I can relate to a lot of the lyrics, you know, the feelings of like self-hatred and stuff like that.
So, would you then consider yourself an incel because you've jokingly like used the term to describe yourself in the past?
Well, I mean, I guess technically wouldn't be like a true cell, because like, you know, I went over this in like the Gamergate interview. I think I've like I've talked to women before, and had like relationships in like quotation marks. So technically, I wouldn't be like an incel, but I'm not like some like mega Chad out here. Like it's not me.
Okay. Um, you've interviewed artists on TikTok such as Chicken Tender. Yourself, what artist currently active in the scene would you like to interview? And it can be like any name, no matter how big or small.
There's a few. I think thrift store firearms is one actually.
Really, why?
Oh, cause there's just like a lot of questions I have for them. Like they're pretty like mysterious kind of artists. Yeah. On that point, me and Neural Override, they're like an incel core band. Are like supposed to do like an interview. I don't know when, and I don't know if it's gonna be able to come to fruition, but we are planning to do one.
Okay, yeah. I saw him put that in a story on TikTok. Yeah, I thought he was just like joking, but no, that'd be cool.
We've we've been talking about it. I saw that story you posted, and I talked to him in the TikTok DMs about that, and he's like on board for it. We just don't have like a date or a time. He says he wants to bring Walk Off on the interview too.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So yeah, everyone watching this video, get hyped for that when that's going to be organized because you won't be recording that, right? You'll only be able to see it live.
Well, he said that he was gonna record it and send it to me so I could post it on my channel. But we'll see how it works out.
Okay, great. Um, so outside of Insulcore, what music do you listen to? I'm pretty sure you're a new metal fan.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I'm actually wearing like a Slipknot shirt right now. Um, like obviously Corn, Seven Dust, Three Days Grace. Those would be kind of the big bands I listen to outside of Incel Core. There's also Thousand Foot Crutch.
Everyone go listen to Limp Bizkit on Spotify. They're the best Y2K older brother 2000s core musicians out there. You know, I mean, they've just been leading the post ironic TikTok Y2K scene right now. And you know, Brett Durst and all the new Mel Cat and all of this stuff, you know, I'm just so like niche about it, you know, I'm just like spreading my autistic nicheness anywhere. But joke you sorry, Total Shroom Death came out a while ago, and people have been harassing you through the song. But I want to know your general impressions from what you've heard.
I mean, I've liked what I've heard so far. I really like that Cephalus and Soul Secret song. I mentioned the Poser song on there. What music do you listen to? So I like those songs. Probably my criticism of it is I wish it was like kind of split up and like more digestible. Like if it was like split into like three different like comps that were like a little bit smaller, I think it would be easier to digest. But I also kind of respect it in a way for just the maximalism of it. Just throw everything on one thing to see how much we can put on one comp. Um, yeah, I'm sure there's some like tracks on it that aren't too good. Just in like sheer amount of stuff that's on there. But I don't think I've listened to them yet. So
Yeah, I mean, I want to say, like, I think Chicken Tender said it best, to be honest, or Untender. You know, he's not expecting much from a comp full of nobodies. But you know, even as one of the nobodies on myself, I would say that uh, the main problem is with a comp like that is that there's going to be a bunch of nobodies in it. But what you stay listening for is the the Casol tracks, the Gulp tracks, the KYS tracks, you know, like those, the big guys, but or bigger guys, you know, the actual talented guys. But the problem with that is that almost all of their songs were either covers or like throwaways that they put on their secondary accounts. So you're not really going to listen to a full comp when it's not really much of experience. It's just a bunch of, you know, shit guys with guitar tones that sound like tin cans, and then a fucking soloist interview like, oh, you listen to 10 shitty same sounding tracks and now you get to listen to Casolis do a cover of Kirch. You know, this is your reward, bro. It should be like I'm not like, I get like why they wouldn't want to do a full song for such a mediocre comp, but yeah, I think that was mainly the main problem with it. So you have been pretty well, you've been pretty fair and, you know, nice, I guess, to a lot of the Insulcore album, a lot of the Insulcore artists that you review. You know, you're not a lot nicer. Uh, okay, I'm gonna ask this question again. I'm gonna cut this out and ask the question again. So you've been a lot nicer to Insulcore artists when reviewing their albums and songs and such, but you have been very vocally harsh and critical of the indie underground alternative scene with artists like Sorrow, Wi-Fi Skeleton, and Over Tonight. Can you talk about your adversity to this genre of music?
it all just sounds the same. And I know a lot of people will say that about Incel Core, but at least Incel Core sounds good. When I hear like all the indie slop, I hear a bunch of stuff that could easily just be thrown in like a supermarket. It feels like super generic. It has like no weight behind it. The lyrics, the topics of the songs are super repetitive. They use text to speech like way too much. The correct amount is like zero, and they go above that, way above that sometimes. Wi-Fi Skeleton is a drug addict pedophile that made garbage music, and I don't know why anyone would look up to him. And yeah, that is all of my problems with indie slop.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'd probably agree with most of that, to be honest. I think, I do think it has made some good songs throughout the scene. Like, I really do like Requiem for You. He's a great guy who associates with them, and he makes some really cool stuff. But I'd say it's actually the opposite of what you said. But I get who you're talking about, and yeah, I think those are pretty valid criticisms. Um, so being relatively close to him, do you think Untender will feature on NWO Volume 2? Because he did tease in a live stream recently that he is going to be on something big happening soon that is not Steakfest.
Hmm. I mean, it's possible. I, it's possible, but I don't know. That's really all I've got to say. There's been a lot of like big projects though going on. It seems like every other like incel core artist I talk to is like, I got a big project on the works. I got a big project in the works. So it may just be like one of those. I don't know, but it's possible he's on NWO. I think that would be good for his career. It would definitely gain him some exposure being on there with the bigger artists.
Okay, so where do you think the incel core scene is going? Where do you think, like, just like maybe like where will Fried be in 5 years' time? Like, who do you think the people in the scene are gonna be? Like, just the general like kind of culture of the scene in 5 years' time. Because it's changed a lot from like 2020 and 2019. A lot younger fans. For one thing, but just like sonically, even where do you think how do you think Incelcore is going to evolve?
I think Intel Core is gonna keep getting more popular because it really does like play into like kind of the culture of today with a lot more people being depressed, and a lot more of the songs are about people being depressed. So I think it's gonna kind of fit in there. It's gonna strike a nerve with like more and more people. So I think it's gonna keep growing, and I think we're going to get like the double edged sword of that. We're going to get more less talented artists and like more actually talented artists, and I think we're gonna start seeing like even more like kind of fighting in these in groups. A lot more people are going to be like going more like mainstream with it, doing the indie slop kind of stuff that I hate. And some people are going to go like too far in the other direction where they're making like songs about TCC stuff and they're being cringe in that direction. So that's probably like where we're going to go.
Okay. So in the first ever Incelcore video that you did make, you said, I think it's like a brilliant quote. You said negative XP is about being born in the wrong generation. Can you just elaborate on what you meant by that?
Um, that, that was like 10 months ago. I don't remember that much, but I think what I was trying to point out was that like a lot of his music takes influence from like older music. Like he makes some stuff that's like kind of reminiscent of like 1960s like classic rock, and there's other stuff that kind of takes influence from the 1990s. And I was kind of saying that he was like making music that's like that like takes stuff from like before he was born. I think maybe that was what I was trying to say. I'd have to like rewatch it.
Okay. So you are, you're the pretty, you're like like the most famous, I guess, curator of Incelcore music. But can you give us a list of the top 10 Incelcore albums slash EPs that you would say are essential for an Incelcore fan to listen to?
Okay, this is something that I was thinking about, and I was kind of struggling with this question, but I'll rattle off some, and we'll see how close we get to 10. Excellent Order by Fried by Fluoride, Uneducated by Neat, Little Watermark self-titled, Brain Soup by Crust Socks, Burning Up by Loser 64. What else? Probably Pre-Rip self-titled. Uh, um, Slow Death or no, Death Tape. Death Tape. That's the other one. We're up to 7. Uh, 10 essential. Bad Songs 3 by Heartbreaker. I guess you'd also put that there. I don't know what else. Ah. I'm struggling here. I shouldn't be struggling. I should know this. 10 essential. Scars by Popkill and I don't know, Cephalus newest album. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Burning Up.
Wait, no, I'll change that last one actually.
Okay.
I'll, I'll change that last one actually. CPC 1. All right, the comp album. That's actually one. Do comp albums count for that?
Yes, definitely. Definitely CPC, CPPC. That's like my favorite like comp album in the scene. I mean, sorry, that's that's not a, like pretty hot take, but it's definitely I listen to that album all the time.
Yeah, I mean it's CPPC is like packed with like iconic songs. You got the Crust Sock song. You got Below Ground songs on there. You got She Hates Me by the Doors. There's like a lot of iconic stuff on there.
Okay, yeah. Well, the last thing I'm gonna ask you now, it's a personal question. Where are you planning to take the channel?
Um, I don't know. I was just kind of planning on doing the same thing, reviewing new albums as they come out, reviewing new songs as they come out, and making ranking videos, making just the usually scheduled programming.
Um, well, going back to the question earlier on, will you be doing this in 5 years' time?
Um, I don't know. We'll have to see how it shakes out. I may have to get a job and like take a break from this, but I don't know. Hopefully, the scene gets like super big and mainstream, and like I become like super rich and successful from like covering it and being friends with like all the artists. So, fingers crossed that happens.
Well, I think that's like all the questions I had. I am really sorry that this took a long. You messaged me about a week ago, like probably 2 weeks ago now. To like about this, and I had to go away for like a long time. So I am really sorry that took so long. But yeah, I really do appreciate having you on the channel. And so, is there anything you want to plug before you go?
Well, obviously my YouTube channel. I also want to promote the community page on my YouTube channel. It's a little dead, but basically, if you're subscribed for like a day, you can like go on there and like and like post something. You can post memes. You can like self promote if you're like an artist or something. Yeah, it's super cool. We need to revive it. I've been meaning to like plug it in a video, but I keep forgetting. And yeah, I also have this alt account called Little Pig Pat, where I've got like a bunch of playlists on there that you can listen to.
Okay. Um. Well,
That
just like for me, I want to. I listened to Esther demo by on SoundCloud. Really, get some feedback on that I improve on producing. And then also, I just want to spread, a really important message of mine. Autistics are the master race of people. Jesus Christ was the first ever autistic, and he did sire children, which the church tries to it tries to cover it up, but all our autistics, we are like divine master race beings, and we all descend from Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was the first autistic, and everything, like the Illuminati, Satanism, everything bad in the world would not happen if autistics were given the power that was promised to us like almost 2,000 years ago. So yeah, autistics, we will call for a complete Normal Holocaust if you do not settle to our reign. And yeah, we will have an autistic Hitler who will kill every normie if you do not let us control the planet. And I think that should be it. But also, oh, and if you're an incel artist who I do actually like, which is pretty much any incel artist above 500 followers, please DM me on Discord because I'd love to interview you. Some of the guys I'd like to interview next are American Retard. Let's see what else. I'd really like to interview some bigger guys like Heartbreaker and Retarded. And trust me, I'll make sure that the interviews don't go as technically bad as this one. But with that, I think we should be about done. So thanks for having me, Kyle.
yeah, you're welcome. I do have American Retard on TikTok, so I can talk to him and see if he wants to do an interview.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would really appreciate that. Yeah. So goodbye, everyone.
All right.